You know that quiet, kind of persistent feeling that so many of us have, but we can't quite put a name to it? It's this sense of being in motion, you're doing things, but you don't really know the destination. Let's explore that feeling together for a bit.
So, you wake up in the morning, the alarm goes off, you get your day started, whether that's commuting or working or studying, and you find yourself just going through the motions. You're doing all the things that are expected of you. Checking off the boxes, hitting the deadlines, doing what you feel you're supposed to do.
But underneath all of that activity, just beneath the surface of the daily routine, deep inside, something else is going on.
It's this feeling that, yeah, you're in motion, but there's no real sense of direction. Almost like you're adrift on the water and you're not totally sure where you're headed.
In all of this, it leads to that one nagging question that we ask ourselves in those quiet moments. Why can't I figure out my life?
And if that question hits home for you, I want you to hear this. Feeling lost is so much more common than you think. It's not a personal failure. It's a deeply, deeply human experience.
So to really understand this feeling, we have to start by unpacking the illusions we all face. All those external pressures and internal myths that create this sense of confusion in the first place.
It's so easy to fall into the trap of comparison, isn't it? We look at other people and we see what looks like a straight, confident path. We see their goals, their solid plans, but the reality for just about everyone is the path on the right. It's winding, it's uncertain, and it's full of improvising. We're constantly comparing our messy, real journey to someone else's highlight reel.
And to add to that pressure, we have this very modern problem, the paradox of too much choice. We are surrounded by endless options for careers, for skills we could learn, paths we could take, and while all that freedom sounds like a gift, a lot of the time it just overwhelms us. It doesn't lead to a clear decision, it leads to a kind of paralysis.
And of course, social media just pours fuel on this fire. Every single day, we're seeing these perfectly curated moments of success. The promotions, the amazing trips, the big achievements, and that constant comparison can make our own quiet, kind of messy journey feel, inadequate, even when we're actually making real, meaningful progress.
There's also this myth out there that we're supposed to find our one grand purpose, almost like it's a hidden treasure we have to go looking for. But the truth is, purpose is rarely discovered instantly. It's something you build slowly, through experience, through trial and error.
So, okay, how do we actually move forward from this feeling? Well, it really begins with redefining our path. It's about shifting our focus away from some fixed destination and learning to appreciate the journey itself.
A huge source of our anxiety comes from these totally unrealistic timelines. We expect to have everything figured out in our early 20s. The truth is, clarity is a long game. Most people only really find their direction after changing course multiple times, over many years, discovering what truly works for them much later on. And this really requires a whole new definition of progress. See, it's not just about the visible achievements. Real progress is also about learning. It's about failing. It's even about discovering what you don't want. Every single step, especially the missteps, they all shape your understanding of yourself and the world. And all of this brings us to what might be the core insight of it all. Clarity doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. So let's talk about how you can move forward even when you don't have a map. The answer isn't to just sit and think harder, it's to act. But action doesn't have to be some giant scary leap. It can be this simple, gentle cycle. First, just try something. Anything that sparks even a little bit of curiosity. Then pay attention. Learn from that experience. What did you like about it? What didn't you like? And finally, just use that new information to slightly adjust your direction. It's a simple loop you can repeat over and over.
So the real mindset shift here is this. Stop searching for the one perfect path. It probably doesn't exist. Instead, start treating your life as a series of small experiments. You don't need certainty to begin, you just need a little bit of movement and a little bit of curiosity.
And as we start to wrap this up, I really want you to hold on to this thought. Feeling lost doesn't mean you're failing, and it definitely doesn't mean you're behind schedule. All it means is that you are in a phase of exploration. You're gathering the data you need to build a life that is truly meaningful to you. You don't need to have the entire path figured out right now. You don't need a map for the whole journey. All you need is the courage, and maybe the self-compassion, to just take the next small step.